Hello, I am Beth Miller. I am a marriage coach and the founder of the Marriage Saver program. And today we are coming with a very important topic. We are talking about how to survive Valentine's Day, which is 2 days away after betrayal. How are you going to get through the next, 2 days and also Valentine's Day? Because I know the lead up comes with a lot of emotions, right? There's a lot of thoughts, a lot of questions, a lot of comparing, a lot of reminiscing. So today's training, what we're going to do is we're going to do a few things. First thing I really want to do is answer the question, will Valentine's Day ever be the same? And the second one I really want to do is the secret behind handling all these emotions, everything, all these questions, all these thoughts that are coming up as Valentine's Day is approaching and what to do on the day of. And then I have so much more that I also want to share on top of those two major questions. So what I want you to do first is I want you to put in the chat below which Valentine's Day is this for you since D-Day. It may be number one, so put number one down. If it's 2, 3, 4, some of you it may be 5. You may be doing 5 Valentine's Days since you first discovered. And that brings up that very first question is, will Valentine's Day ever be the same? So let's tackle that one first. So how do we tackle that one first? So the first thing is we have to stop comparing. You know what Valentine's Day was like before you discovered his affair. So we need to stop comparing. One of the first things you can do in that comparison is write down what Valentine's Day was. Write it down what it was, and we have to come to a place of peace that right now it's probably not going to be the same. So it's lowering those expectations. You might be like, Beth, why am I lowering my expectations? Well, we have to be realistic here. Things are different right now. And we need to look at what it was like, what you loved about it, but then also get to a place of, you know what, I know it's not going to be the same. And I can give you some more strategies a little bit later on in this talk, but those are one of the first things we have to do. We have to stop comparing, being like, okay, are we going to go for a date? Is it going to be romantic? Is he going to get me a gift? Am I even going to want his gift? Am I going to feel triggered thinking about, does he actually love me? Why would he do this if he actually loved me? So we really got to dig into what the past was and what we're comparing to. Okay, so not going to compare. I'm going to lower those expectations. We can talk a little bit more about lowering those expectations. But another thing is to think about potentially even postponing. Like, could this be just a very small Valentine's Day? Like, especially if you and your husband are really, both of you, he's actively trying to make things better, then this might be a conversation. What we could do this day is we can make a new tradition. And the new tradition is I'm going to write you a letter. You write me a letter. We'll get takeout. And you know what? We'll just watch a movie together. That's it. And for some, that is Valentine's Day normally. But if that's what feels right, just keeping it low key, meeting yourselves where you're at, not trying to force anything, not trying to fake anything, not trying to make Valentine's Day what it was in the past, making it what it is to now, what it is right now. And that's what those lowering expectations are. I don't want you to lower them to the point where you're like not even doing anything that feels right for yourself, but lowering them to a level that feels right for where you're at. So maybe postponing Valentine's Day. Like, really, it's a day of love, but should it only be celebrated on February 14th? Probably not. We should be doing a little bit of Valentine's Day. Some people would say, therapists would say, like once a week, you should be going on a date night or making at least an hour of time for each other that's dedicated as if it were a date. That should really be weekly Valentine's Day. So meeting yourselves where you're at, not comparing, lowering those expectations to, you know what, this feels good for my nervous system if we were to just write each other a letter and sit on the couch. Another thing here is, there's many types of love. And right now, you guys get that. Right now, you love him and probably hate him all at the same time. Moments of like, and maybe hate's pretty strong, but really angry right now. And you may really love who he was. And right now, it's really difficult to see the love in him. And so we really got to focus on what type of love do you have for him now and really honoring it. It may feel really confusing how you love him. And so again, I think getting clear, get your journal out and really write, how do I love my husband? I love him in this way. You could, even if you really want to deal with some of the pain, it's like writing like, what did I love about my husband prior to the affair? And are any of those aspects still here presently? So this is an opportunity. Valentine's Day is a massive trigger, and triggers are always something that we need to analyze because it's telling us something. It's like, okay, when we're triggered, an emotion comes in, anger, sadness, fear, grief, embarrassment, shame, jealousy. When we are triggered, an emotion is triggered within us, that's an invitation to do some inner work. Relationship pain is an invitation for inner work. So we got to figure out, why am I feeling so triggered? Well, let's take an opportunity to look at who he was, what I loved about him, and what am I loving still about him? And where do I want to go with this love? What do I need from this relationship? And am I okay with just like hanging out right now? Because a lot of times, especially a lot of women in this group, right? A lot of my clients, like, you know what? He's not quite who he was. He's not back to it yet. He's got his own stuff going on. His heart is a little bit shut out to me. He's not rolling out the red carpet celebrating me and wanting to bow down and do everything for me. Or maybe he is, but he's not the same yet, and I'm holding space for that. I know I want to work on myself and I want to work on this marriage, but I see he's not quite there yet. We're not sprinting through this together. It's a process. And so seeing that, really, really seeing that and figuring out, okay, this is a time for me to reflect on what I loved about him, what I love about him now, what are my expectations for him for the future, and am I falling in love with his potential? And that's such a tricky part in all this too. Are you holding the old him to the standard that's who he needs to become again? Are we creating a new type of love here? All right, so will Valentine's Day ever be the same? Well, it will be different. We're evolving. Are you the same person you were 10 years ago? No. Is he the same person? No. So we evolve, and this Valentine's Day needs to evolve. So we're going to stop comparing. We're going to lower the expectations or make the expectations exactly where they need to be based on your emotions, your nervous system, and where you're at. Do you need to postpone or just make a mini version of a Valentine's Day? I think writing him a letter is a really powerful thing to do as well. And just analyzing the type of love you have. And I think that will really help put Valentine's Day in perspective. All right, that was the first question I was going to answer. The next one is, what are the secrets behind handling all these emotions? There's so much, it's such a triggering time, right? So first one is, we've got to feel the feelings. We really do. Not judging yourself, but sitting in them. And there's something really powerful about sitting in the emotions. So if you're feeling really sad right now, you're feeling that grief, feel it. We can feel two emotions at the same time. So you can be happy with your kids. Like, you can do activities with them, but still feel grief. Two emotions. If someone were to pass away, you can feel really sad, missing them big time, but still find joys in other aspects of your life. So feel the feelings and compartmentalize them where they belong. If you're finding that grief is stemming into every aspect of your life, so you can't focus and can't enjoy the little things, I'd really recommend talking to a professional about that one, just so we can make sure that your joy is not being robbed in all aspects. So feel the feelings, sit in them. Sit in them is one of the best ways. Don't override them. And even if you're super busy and you're like, I don't have time to deal with that now, I'm just going to shove that one under the rug, we got to come back to it later that night. And something as simple as getting a journal out and just really writing, I'm so angry because I'm so sad. I'm so sad. I miss him. I want him back. Where is he? Where is he gone? Why is he treating me this way? Why won't he just open up? Why won't he tell me the truth? What if he's doing this again? Write it all out. Get it out. And our brain has a funny way of just being like, okay, it's out. It's on paper. It's done. And your brain can just like exhale a little bit. It's so powerful, conscious stream of writing. So what else can you do behind feeling the feelings? Because Valentine's Day is coming up. We need those skills to get through it. You can let grief join you on Valentine's Day. Like, we don't need to pretend that we're all happy on Valentine's Day. Again, we can feel those two emotions on Valentine's Day and we can own it to our partner. You know what? I love you a lot, but I'm still sad and I'm still processing it. But you know what? I'm going to be okay. And you are going to be okay. And we're going to figure this out together. I see you where you're at now, and I know where I'm at now, and however this conversation needs to go, because everyone's so individual, which is going to bring me to my next point, actually. If you want a personalized tip, put love in the chat below. I'll send you a DM and I'll give you like a quick personalized, like a 30-second to 1 minute, like a little personalized strategy on how to tackle Valentine's Day. So some of these things I'm saying, they're very general, very broad, but if you want like a quick snippet, type the word LOVE below and I'll send you a quick DM with a little 30-second, 1 minute tip on how to navigate this, because you can let these emotions come with you on Valentine's Day. We don't have to be like, I'm going to ruin the day if I'm sad. Oh, I'm feeling sad, so now the day sucks. Really meet yourself where you're at. Don't beat yourself up. You've been through a massive trauma and you can still feel sad on Valentine's Day if you need to feel sad, but then figure out, how are we going to get ourselves back to joy? Where am I going to find the joy? What am I going to find the joy in? Gratitude is amazing for this. And I know we hear a ton about gratitude journals. Gratitude journals. All right. So here's the power behind gratitude. It changes your emotion is what it does. When you can be thankful for something, 60 seconds. You can even write the same thing. I'm thankful for the sun today. I love feeling the warm sun on my skin. I'm thankful for the sun. You do that for 30 seconds, 60 seconds ideally. Your body, because I've talked about this with you guys before, an emotion really is a chemical in your body. And so there's a thought. If the thought is, I'm thankful for the sun, your brain is going to release a lovely, maybe serotonin, a wonderful feeling throughout your body, and it's released into every cell. That's why we say we get flooded with an emotion. It comes over us so fast. It's like it washes over us. So when you can do gratitude, which is one of the highest vibrations, love, gratitude are one of the highest ones out there. When you can get yourself into that state, it changes you. If you can do it for 60 seconds, it's a quick way to kind of move past some of those other feelings. So you got to use a tool to shift yourself out of it. So gratitude, even if you can't think of anything, just write the same thing over again and just feel it. It can't just be like, I'm happy for the sun. I'm thankful for the sun. Thank you, sun. Thank you, sun. And just write it over and over again. And you'll start to feel it change in your body. What else do I want to talk about here? So let grief join you, whatever feeling it is on Valentine's Day. keep the expectations. I talked about that one already. And yeah, what else do I want to talk about here? Yeah, giving love its boundaries. So, yeah, if you're feeling really triggered, like not being able to open up the same way, some women aren't even wearing their rings right now, just holding those boundaries, right? Again, that's part of the expectations. But if you're judging yourself, if you're triggering yourself into like acting a certain way, really figure out what are my boundaries on this day. But back to the feelings, we got to rewire the brain. This is a great opportunity. Like I said, triggers, triggers suck. They really do. But they're also these great gifts for us. They're like, here you go. You don't like the gift. You don't like being triggered, but inside is something you need to work on. And so rewiring the brain is really powerful. If you're not liking the emotion, then we got to figure out how to get rid of it. How to teach our brain to flood a different chemical throughout our body. And that's what I specialize in. So I'm a marriage coach, but I have a hypnosis training. And so when I work with my clients, we're doing these incredible like tracks, these deep meditations called hypno journeys, like hypnosis guided meditation journey. And so you get deeply relaxed. And then when you're very relaxed, you're fully awake, fully alert. Kids could walk in the room. We just go back to these times. Go back to a time where you felt unloved. Simply go back to a time where you felt not enough, where you didn't feel appreciated, where you felt abandoned. Go back to those times. And your mind has this like amazing way of pulling these things forth from the time. It could be recent. It could be with the recent trauma, or it could be something away from the past. So we want to be able to go back to these times. So hypnojourney is extremely powerful in going back to these memories and releasing the pain associated with past abandonment, not feeling loved, not feeling enough, not feeling heard. Releasing that, being like, okay, that's the past, and almost as a place of acceptance. That was me, but it's no longer me. And when it's no longer you, it's amazing how it shifts into today. I am enough. Just because those people in the past didn't love me the way I needed to be loved, it doesn't mean I'm not lovable. So what we need to do is start rewiring the brain. So having a notice of every single trigger and the emotion associated with it is step one. Getting a journal and having that awareness. When we can have awareness of the voices in our head, sometimes there's that battle, the one that's like, I want to love him. I want to keep us together. I can't believe he did this to me. I want to get a divorce. Why am I settling? I'm a fool for staying. I'm dumb for staying. So we have these voices. So we need to have awareness of the voices in our head and start jotting down which one is our real voice, which one's not our real voice. So I'm getting all over the place here, but we have to rewire the brain. So how do we handle these emotions on Valentine's Day? I think the biggest thing for everyone out there today is really that awareness. What are you feeling? You can feel two emotions at the same time. Noticing the questions, like that goes along with the voices. What questions are popping up in your head? And I'm going to suggest anyone that's watching this that's been through Valentine's Day before, share your tips below. How have you coped with this? How have you coped with this before? So share those tips below. But we got to notice what questions are popping up. The question is, does he love me, which I talked about already? Does he actually want to do anything for me for Valentine's Day? Is he going to even send me gifts? Is he going to get me roses? So sometimes like talking about it ahead of time, what are your, that's the other one. Okay, expectations, that's it. With your expectations, you need to communicate them. You have to do it with your birthday, Valentine's Day, Christmas, every single holiday. If there's something you want, vacations you go on, you need to communicate to those around you what you want. And it might seem not very romantic, not very spontaneous, but otherwise you might be disappointed. You have to articulate your needs. Take control of it. Because you know how many wives I talk to that their birthdays, Christmas, they didn't really get much. They didn't get what they wanted. They wanted to go for dinner. They wanted a beautiful card. They didn't get it. So we have to say what you want. So telling your husband how you're going to define this Valentine's Day and what it is you want. Okay, what else? Just want to see what else. I don't want to miss anything here. I guess ultimately, like, be really sensitive to yourself. You're going through a ton, and this will be different. Valentine's Day won't be the same, but that's okay. This is part of your journey. This has, like I said, those triggers that are in this, those thoughts that are happening, those are all things to take note of. That's your subconscious mind. That's your body telling you, this is where I'm at. And so honoring being sensitive to yourself because of that. Okay, so here's what I want to do for you. A couple things that I told you can do. Type the number of Valentine's Days you've been through, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, since D-Day. If you've been through it before, please share below tips, strategies that have worked for you to navigate through it. Number 3, type the word love below, L-O-V-E, and I'll send you a quick DM and I'll ask you probably one question, and then just, I'll leave you like a 30-second, 1-minute personalized strategy to overcome Wednesday. All right, with that said, thank you. It's been an honor to be with you today. Be kind to yourself. Be sensitive. Valentine's Day, it's extremely triggering. I know Facebook, everyone's posting their love everywhere. You know what? If you have to, don't check Facebook that day. Just let it be. Honor yourself. Leave it as a day for yourself. Get your journal. Really go inward. Spend some time with your family. Do the things you love, but maybe avoid things that have been triggering like Facebook or whatever it might be. But anyway, thank you guys, and we'll chat soon. All right, thinking of you all.